The Inquisitorial KillTeam box is, like the guys at Squidmar would say, 11 out of 10 scam. Or should I say 7 out of 11 scam, because you need 11 operatives to play the game, but you only get 7 from the box. Hi, my name is Otso. Welcome to Warp Things, and today I'm gonna kitbash more operatives to my kill team from leftover bits and whatever I find in my bits box. Let's get to it. These are the operatives I decided to build without any big conversions out of the box. We have the Tome Skull, Auto Savant, Mystic Agent and the Interrogator Agent. Although I modified the Mystic Agent a bit by swapping his holster to be cross-draw and added some scrolls to the other side, and then I left the shoulder pads off, which turned out to save me in the end. For the Interrogator, I scraped a big scar on his face that explains the eye patch. He has the same scar in the artwork and I really like that picture of him. I think the normal sculpt with the polished paint job GW has on the box art lacks the greediness a real Interrogator should have. He's one rank below Inquisitor after all, so he's seen some action. The Penal Legionnaire I'll proxy as Pious Vorn from Blackstone Fortress that I hunted down secondhand. Blackstone Fortress is a really cool box set and I really like the books as well. Vorn is very cool. She's later released and now sold as a Ministorm Priest with a Vindicator for the Sisters of Battle. She has a gas mask, check. A flamer, check. And a chainsword attached to it. Check. All the things that a Penal Legionnaire has on his datasheet. I think she just fits the aesthetic of my Ordo Hereticus Inquisitor way better. She's a Penal Legionnaire only in name. Maybe I'll call her Penitent. I think it fits way better. For the Truth Pillar, I'll use an old Kitbash of mine that I made for D&D. It's made by combining 2 Chaos Cultists from the Dark Vengeance box, and I did some neat cutting to remove some Chaos bits. I'll just have to repaint him and add a bit of Purity Seals later to get him up to standard. Anyway, you might be thinking, wait, that's only 6 guys, not even 7. And that's because I think everyone else needs a bit of TLC. Let's start with the no-brainer, pun intended, the Weapon Servitor. This is a very easy conversion that gives it a lot of options, and I think you really should do it if you have this one. Not really a kitbash, but something to consider. I'm going to magnetize the gun for more options. I stuffed some paper towel inside his hollow gun, so that when I put a magnet in it, it won't get lost inside. First I tried slotting the magnet sideways, since it fit the hole perfectly, but the hold wasn't enough. I carved the hole bigger to fit a 3mm round magnet and added a dash of super glue to keep it in place. Then I did the same to all the gun options. My biggest drill bit is a 3mm, so it's perfect. I'll just have to... Oh shit. Well, that's on me. I should have stretched the hole a bit before trying to push something that large inside there. Well, anyway, once I got all the guns drilled, minding the polarity, plugged the magnets in, and that's the servitor done. The Hexorcist is just a priest mad with faith and wielding a shotgun, so let's go full heresy and use a body from a Dark Acolyte from the Dark Apostle box that I never ended up painting. I love this sculpt, and cutting the cool parts off pains me, but at least now he's gonna get some games in. I cut his hands off first by the wrist, but ended up amputating both arms from the elbow. The difference between a Ministorm Acolyte and a Dark Acolyte is mainly just their beliefs and their symbols, and only one of those 2 things can be sculpted on a model. So with a little scraping, we can bring him back to the Emperor's Light. This guy has a Chaos Star hanging from his belt, so let's scrape that off. I'm going to add something more fitting here. I have a Deathwatch upgrade sprue that I bought a while back for the shoulder pads, and it has some Inquisitorial eye symbols on it. I just had to scrape off the skull with the crossbones from the other side and make it a bit thinner so it's not too protruding. Then I glued it on with some thin plastic cement and voila! I had a lot of trouble with his forearms because of the really weird pose he's in. I'm using the shotgun from the Kill Team box and tried first using the arms as well, but I couldn't make it work. That's where we get to today's theme, old Katachan parts. I have plenty of them from when I was a kid, and they're really good basic human parts. I did a lot of trial and error before I finally got the pose right. I used some Katachan forearms that had these bracelets or whatever they're called. These bracelets make the gluing seam much more invisible and also the conversion much easier because I can rotate the wrists however I want. I ran out of green stuff before, so I'm stuck with using sprue goo. If you don't know what that is, I have a short I posted on my channel recently on how to make it and what it's used for. Basically, it's just melted plastic. When I had the arms in place, I used some thin Tamiya to smoothen up the clumps of sprue goo. Now he looks like he's walking forward, pumping his shotgun to spread his faith. Very menacing. I added a purity seal to his cape, as scraped off a bit of girth of his forearms. And that's my Hexorcist agent. Very nice. Next up, the Deathworld vet. I have a lot of things I don't like about this sculpt, so he will need a lot of work. His datasheet tells me that he has an auto pistol, a knife and a polearm. This guy is covered in knives. He's holding a knife as well. We got the knives covered many times over on the sculpt, so he doesn't need to be holding one. I cut off an auto pistol arm from a Games Workshop free model, a Chaos Beastman, that again had some bandages around the forearm, so I'll be able to hide the seam perfectly. I had to trim the nails a bit cause it's a Beastman arm. For the upper arm, I'm using the one from the Penal Legionnaire, the chainsword arm. I like the pose and I like the chainmail on the shoulder. For the torso, I opted for the Penal Legionnaire's part again because of the chainmail, and I think it looks a lot better than the other one. I made a pilot's hole to the gun barrel with my hobby knife and then drilled it. This way, it's always nice and centered. Then I glued the gun armor in its place. Now the polearm. I think the polearm has way too much going on. I snapped off the decoration and the big spike on the top in one foul swoop. Then I cleaned it up with my hobby knife. The spiky ball is probably there for counterweight and all, but I don't like it either, so it has to go. First I thought about using a skull from an old Chaos Marine sword, but it was too big. So again, Katachan parts to the rescue. I clipped off an eagle head from a machete handle that looked to be the right size and glued it beak facing upward to the polearm. I like this way better. Then his head, I think it looks like Frankenstein with earrings. I cannot unsee that. So let's go again with the Penal Legionnaire option and change it up a bit. I really like the gas mask goggle combo. It's very creepy. I carved off the 3 mohawks and then sanded the bald smooth with a nail file. Then I glued the head on. I tried using a Space Marine's augmetic eye on one of his eyes, but I didn't like how it looked, so I scratched that idea. And I decided to give him a crazy battle scar instead. I scraped 2 scars on his head with my hobby knife, and then I smoothed it out with Tamiya cement. Now that's a proper veteran from a death world, and it still has all the weapon options showing. I just swapped the places around a bit. He's going to be a ton of fun to paint. The last 2 agents I have left are the Pistolier and the Questkeeper, and my problem is that both of them are my favorites from the box. I had already glued together the Pistolier because I like the John Wick-esque pose that she's in, but I could simply not find a body for the Questkeeper in my bits box. And the nagging feeling that I should have done the Questkeeper instead was growing on me. So I had to rip and tear apart the Pistolier. I'm sorry, but such horror can't be shown here on YouTube, so let's skip forward a bit. This time, I glued the Questkeeper's arms to this torso, but the ugly melted plastic from before was showing way too much and I think it looked horrible. Then I realized, I had the shoulder pads I didn't glue on the banner guy before. I flattened out the shoulders a bit for a better fit, and then I glued the pauldrons on. Then I also glued on her head. The Pistolier had a backpack pistol holder that left a nasty gap on the back when I ripped it off. To cover that up, again, I'm gonna use some Katachan bits. This time, I'm using a medic's backpack. I cut off the small bone saw from the side, and then I scraped off the medic symbol from the top flap. And then I glued it on to her damaged back with sprue goo. It fit like a glove between the shoulder pads. Here's my Questkeeper. I think she looks really tanky with the added bulk and like a real melee menace. Finally, to Desperado. I used a Skitari body for her, one without an obvious dick bulge, and one that's walking forwards the same way as her previous body. I scraped off the unnecessary spikes from the legs, the AdMech logo from the chest, and the backpack knob from the back with my hobby knife. I glued the pistol holsters that I mentioned before on her back. I left the legs unglued and just tacked them on for easier painting of the coat. Then I just had to glue the hands and the head on. And my final Inquisitorial agent is done. I could come up with a lot of reasons why her body is full on mechanic and how she got it, but let's say they were fighting heretics alongside the AdMech, and she took a fatal wound to her chest. For her bravery, a tech adept saved her by replacing all the damaged body parts with state-of-the-art Skitarii tech. Now, I have all the options to use in my kill team. And I really like the character that my conversions bring to the table. Now I just have to paint everything. And going with the scheme so far and the non-metallic metals, that might take a while. But I love how different of a painting experience all of these are. It really keeps it fresh and exciting to paint. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about my conversions and if you want to see me paint up one of these guys. Then, if you have not yet, go check out my last video where I paint the Inquisitor. I spent way longer on that one and I think it's my best video yet. For some reason it got lost in the warp and YouTube didn't show it anywhere. And it didn't get many views. But if you enjoyed this one, I think you might love that one and I think it's really worth a watch. We just hit 500 subscribers and that's a lot of people that thought they want to see more. And I'm really thankful and surprised. The comments on my videos have also been very heartwarming and they push me to keep going. Thank you everyone for taking the time out of your day to watch my videos. It really is a passion project for me, but it feels really nice if somebody enjoys it. Anyway, as always, if you enjoyed, leave a like, leave a comment down below on what you thought. Anything to please the 5th Chaos God, the YouTube algorithm. Especially for a small channel like this, simple things like that can make a huge difference and tell YouTube that my videos are worth watching. I have many projects and ideas on the works right now and I'm excited to show them to you guys when the time is right. So subscribe for more. Until that, I'm gonna keep painting my minis, you paint yours, and hope to see you next time. Bye.